Irwin, second Greg Dorries and Marcus Edwards of North Burleigh, and third Brad Kane and Gary Pimenta from Southport, also in Queensland. And away they go in the Speedo Open Surf. The man to beat, Simon Upton, who's recently taken out the BP Open belt.
Great confusion there at the start because the rip is so strong here travelling north that a lot of the competitors, as soon as they reached ankle depth water, which is a required depth, then immediately ran along the beach, headed south to take advantage of this rip as they move out towards the buoys. That's certainly a very, very strong field, a quality field all the way through. Justin Lemberg, former Olympians in there, of course. Simon Upton from Manly, Nick Todd-Hunter from Swansea Belmont, Tony Harris, last year's outstanding champion from Surfers Paradise, Dean Peters from Western Australia, Lord from Northcliffe, the quality Adam Sandbrook from Southport, and of course the world champion Craig Riddington from Manly.
Most of the surf races earlier today have been way down the northern end of the beach at North Burleigh. Fortunately, they've brought it back in front of the main area for the final.
Yes, last year's champion Tony Harris in the light blue cap with the gold star, right up with the leaders. Surfers Paradise performing very, very well here today. Craig Riddington from Manly and Simon Upton from Manly, also right up near the lead at the moment. They went right, as we spoke of earlier at the start, and taking the advantage now as they try and make their way back towards the buoys. Very big surf and very, very strong current.
And very, very hard throughout the carnival to lay the buoys, and great efforts by the IRB.
And there's the cap of Manly, swimming strongly, looks like Upton. They're being swept a long way north. Swimmers doing it very tough as they try and swim south over to the buoys. Those that went south in the run at the start now have the advantage, but that shows the rip just pushing them up towards North Burleigh Beach. Strongest swimmers in Australia fighting against the sea. Going to be very, very difficult. This race will take some time.
He's having to expend a lot of energy to come back virtually directly towards the buoy.
Simon Upton from Manly in the middle of the screen there in the light blue cap, just diving under that wave. Probably swimming the strongest of them all. His arms reaching way out in front. Craig Riddington from Manly, also up there, and Kassane, the son of John Kassane, the former Australian surf champion, also in there.
Which means you see the waves breaking where the buoys are, so as soon as they get round, they can easily pick up a wave.
The surfers will be on a wave, and Craig Riddington, one of the greatest surfers in Australia, if he can be anywhere near the lead as the waves come round, he'll be on a wave, and he'd hold it a long, long way in.
This is quite amazing, the amount of hard work they've got to do to get up towards the buoy. You can almost see, you can virtually see it dragging them back, and these are the top surf lifesavers, swimming-wise, in Australia.
Yes, they're way outside the buoys. I think that they will go out further than the buoys to take advantage of trying to crack a wave when they come in. Rather than stick close to the buoys and swim the shorter distance, they'll move out. There's no required distance they have to stay within the buoys as long as they round them, and they're moving out to sea so that they can take advantage of a wave. They don't want to get washed inside the buoys either by these big waves breaking on the buoys and causing disqualification. But Simon Upton of Manly, the sky blue cap of Manly Life Saving Club, swimming very strongly. Craig Riddington is also there. Nick Todd-Hunter from Swansea Belmont is figuring prominently. He's the New South Wales champion with Wayne McGregor from North Cronulla. And Dean Peters from Scarborough, also a very good surfer.
Well, these conditions have been prevailing for 4 days now. You'll notice the dirt that's in the surf. It's been chopped around, and there's a tremendous example of the hard work the swimmers got to do.
That appears to be Gary Watson from Southport. Very prominent swimmer, an Australian representative, but they're a long way out to sea past the buoys now, looking for the wave that's going to carry them into the gold medal. Craig Riddington, the world champion, has now forged his way to the lead.
So getting towards going around the boys in the Speedo Open Surf, and Craig Riddington of Manly is the leader.
Yes, the current world champion, a long way out past the boys, as are most of the good swimmers. And Riddington, a very, very strong swimmer, and of course a magnificent surfer. Simon Upton from Manly would have been considered one of the favourites for this race. And of course, right up there now, he's in second place. The surf very, very strong, the current enormously strong, sweeping them north, and the waves breaking a long way out past the boys. This is a very long and a very difficult swim.
Yes, a number of the Stillwater champions like Justin Lemberg and Robbie Woodhouse and Simon Upton, but marked contrast from the Stillwater and a couple of years ago in Scarborough.
Certainly is, Roger. Now, they've been swimming along the back of the boys here for probably 3 or 4 minutes, trying to make a distance of 20 or 30 metres. And a lot of them finding it very, very difficult. A lot of the swimmers being swept close. You see the rescue boats there, ready to pick up. But Craig Riddington is almost nearly ready to turn. He's forced his way out the back. He's even with the red and yellow boy out the back, Craig Riddington. Here's a surfer, couldn't make it out, and he's running south along the beach to have another go. But there's Craig Riddington from Manly. Swimming strongly, he's about to go around the red and yellow boy, looking for the swell. Just made it around, forcing himself not to be caught and washed inside, and automatically the rip takes him. Now these surfers, he's going to have to crack a broken wave if he wants to beat the swimmers out the back. His arms thrashing in the surf. Craig Riddington never ever won an Australian surf championship, yet he is the current world champion. No doubt about his surfing prowess, and waves building up, crashing down on the sandbar. This could be Craig Riddington's race. He could be the Speedo Open surf champion. He looks over his shoulder, swimming strongly, reaching right out in front. His powerful shoulders pulling him through the water, taking as much lift as he possibly can, and he's picked up a broken wave, giving him an extra few metres. Harris, last year's champion from Surfers Paradise, way back in 3rd place. Riddington used all of his strength to make it round the boys in order to get that lead that he needed. And there's the sky blue cap of Manly coming home. The world champion in great position. Second place is Cronulla, probably Richard Ford. Tony Harris from Southport in 3rd. Probably about another 10 metres to go. Riddington's up now and running. Big Craig Riddington. This will be a very popular victory. He's tried for a long time to win this open surf race, and it's Craig Riddington from Manly, looking as fresh as a daisy after one of the toughest surf race swims ever. Crosses and breaks through the banner there, and Manly has won a gold medal through Craig Riddington's efforts in the Open Surf Race Championship. There's Richard Ford from Cronulla coming out into second place, a former Australian champion. And now Tony Harris, last year's champion from Surfers Paradise, running out into 3rd. And look at that surf. Unbelievably tough conditions.
Craig, how did you finally find those boys out there?
Well, I could see them, but just getting past them was the hardest part. Just trying to. It was a sort of mind game because we were swimming close to the boys and weren't getting anywhere. So I decided to go out further, where the rip wasn't as strong, and sort of paid off. It still took us 5 minutes or so to get to the end of it, but it sort of paid off.
After you turned the cans, Craig, when did you realise you were in the lead, you had the lead of this championship?
I knew if I could get around the last boy that I would win.
Craig Riddington confirming his world champion status by winning the Speedo Open Surf. Second, Richard Ford, a former champion, Cronulla, New South Wales. And third, Tony Harris, his first year in the Open from Surfers Paradise in Queensland. And away they go in the solo open single ski final, and the defending champion Chris Bond of the entrance is not in the final.
Going to be a great race. There's some fantastic paddlers there, and as we've said earlier, these great conditions, big waves, strong rips, Plenty of foam and very, very strong winds is going to really make these competitors work extremely hard on the way out to the boys.
And Grant Kenny, one of the most famous names in surf life saving, not only 4 times Ironman champion, but also twice single ski champion.
Yes, Grant, of course, is the world single ski champion at the moment. Won the title here on the Gold Coast at Southport. You see him in the bottom of the picture in the bright red and yellow ski. Peter Clark from Byron Bay opening up a very good lead now. Clark just won the double ski race just a few minutes ago, obviously on a high. Kenny now starting to move up on him, lifting his back there to get the nose of the ski over those swells. And Clark just got hit by a good one. As Grant Kenny now moved to the lead, very, very powerful competitor, very strong competitor, dual Olympian, and has a great knowledge, of course, of the surf.
So still working out through the very awkward conditions, the wave knocking them back. Grant Kenny looking in a good position.
Well, Grant Kenny put himself in a good position. You make your own luck to a great extent in surf life-saving, and now he's opened up a tremendous lead. He was able to work out the way the waves were going to break and where the shoulder of the waves would be, and he's pushed himself over, and as the picture shows there, he's way out in front.
Marked contrast to the conditions in Scarborough last time he won in 1987. Grant Kenny goes round the buoy on the solo open single ski, round the first buoy.
And Grant Kenny has an enormous lead. Used his surfing skill and knowledge to get out there in through the big break. Did it exceptionally well. Peter Clark from Byron Bay paddling very well in second place. But look at Grant Kenny on the bright red and yellow ski.
Just recently retired from kayaks for the last 2 Olympics, and now winding up again for the run home.
And again, using his great knowledge, you see him coming across there just to pick up that little skate, escaped the big waves, taken a wave that he can handle easily, has an enormous lead over the rest of the field, and really only has to hold that wave to come back, and he's the solo open ski champion, the current world champion, previous Australian champion, and probably one of the most famous names in surf life-saving competition. But Grant Kenny now coming in, the waves building up, throwing his ski all over the place. But Kenny looking around, he knows there's no real close challenges. And the red and yellow ski of Grant Kenny from Alexandra Headlands coming in very, very strongly.
Peter Clark, who's just won the double ski, has come off.
Well, that's a shame. He was in second place. But Grant Kenny now, look at the concentration on his eyes, looking for the finishing area, going very, very strong. And Grant Kenny from Alexandra Headlands now pushing his ski across, and he's won another gold medal in the solo open single ski race. Alan Boyce from Byron Bay now coming in second place, and Peter Clark from Byron Bay also on the same wave.
3rd National Single Ski Championship to Grant Kenny of Alexandra Headlands. 2nd, Peter Clark of Byron Bay, remembering he took out the gold medal in the double ski. And 3rd, Alan Boyce of Swansea Caves, New South Wales. Set in the women's